A very good morning and welcome all to this microwave engineering course. Now in today's tutorial or lecture we are going to see a special type of a transmission lines, especially those are the planar transmission lines. These transmission lines are extensively used in microwave communication and in microwave signal propagation. So if you remember, in the beginning of chapter 1, we described the syllabus, and in that syllabus we mentioned that there is one important aspect that we are going to see some of the special type of a transmission line in our module number 1. So these transmission lines are very much popular in nowadays in integrated circuit because of their printed facility. Okay, so we are not going to see in detail the coaxial cable or the two wire cables and so on, but we are interested to study some of the special type of planar transmission lines. So in our syllabus we are going to see the construction and the field configuration and the empirical equation to design these special type of transmission lines, and especially we are going to see the three different types of transmission line. Number one is the strip line. We will see the explanation later on. And then second one is very popular, which you might be knowing already in the various communication at various labs you might have visited and you might have observed these type of transmission lines, and these are popularly known as a microstrips or microstrip line in short. The another type of transmission line, actually which is a combination of two microstrip lines which are printed together on a common substrate, and we call that particular configuration as a coupled wave transmission line. Okay, or we can call it as a coupled wave transmission line. Okay, so in this lecture we are going to see the construction of all these special type of a transmission lines and their field configuration, how the fields are exhibited by these special type of planar transmission lines, and then we will see how to calculate the different parameters of the transmission line, especially the configuration of the transmission line in terms of its dimension, width, height. Okay, and we would also like to see how to calculate the characteristic impedance of these transmission lines. Okay, so let us start with first of all the strip line. So here first of all I will give the heading as planar transmission lines. Okay, so under this heading of planar transmission line we are going to see three main different types of transmission lines. The first is strip line. We are going to see in detail the construction, working and equation for calculating the dimension of these special type of a transmission lines, and also we will illustrate you where these transmission lines are utilized, particularly in which applications. Okay, so first is a strip line, so second is microstrip line, microstrip lines sometimes they are also known with other name called as a microstrip transmission line, so one and the same. So microstrip line are also known as microstrip transmission lines. Please remember that don't get confused between the term microstrip transmission line and microstrip antenna. The technique of fabricating the microstrip is same, but microstrip antenna is a different and microstrip transmission line is different. These are the two different devices, please remember. Microstrip transmission line is designed to carry the signal, microwave signal or high frequency signal on the circuit. Okay, so while the microstrip antenna is used to radiate the microwave signal into space. Okay, And the third planar transmission line we are going to discuss today is coupled microstrip line. Right? Coupled microstrip line. So coupled microstrip line, we can say it is a special type of microstrip transmission line where we get more than one transmission line which is designed on the same substrate. Okay, so one by one let us start explaining the construction, working operation, and the field configuration, how the field electric and magnetic fields are visualized in this special type of a transmission line, and then we will write down the empirical equation to calculate their dimension, and also we will see the equation to calculate their characteristic impedance. Now please remember, all these are the special type of a transmission line, so you should not get confused. These are not the devices, but these are the transmission lines. Okay, so earlier we were knowing the transmission line as a 2-wire flat cable or coaxial cable. Okay, and many of you might be knowing this type of a transmission line, okay, which is very popular. Okay, so in addition to microstrip transmission line in our syllabus, we are going to see strip line and coupled microstrip line. Okay, so let us start a discussion of first type of a planar transmission line, that is a strip line. Okay, so I will start from here. Strip line. So first of all, we should know how this particular strip line look like. Okay, so for that I will take the diagram. Okay, so here if you observe, I inserted a diagram into my notes. Okay, and I will adjust it so that, so what I will do is I will place this diagram over here. Okay, and then I will start explaining the thing. Okay, so you can visualize how this strip line look like. I will make some different color. So this is the first diagram is a physical construction. Okay, so this is a physical construction. Then the second diagram is the field configuration, how the field configuration look like for that particular line. Okay, and the third diagram is indicating the structural details. Okay, so let me explain you how this look like. So I hope that this diagram is clear to you. So what we have over here is we have two ground planes. So these ground planes are located on the top and bottom. So here I will draw. So this is a ground plane, right, on the top of that line, and below that there is another ground plane in this way. So I am explaining the physical construction of a strip line. Okay. And at the center over here exactly there is a strip line. Strip line is a metallic flat conductor. Now you may ask a question that how this central conductor is placed inside two ground planes. Now please remember, the space which is available between the strip line and the two ground plane is actually filled with a dielectric material. Okay, so if I take some other color over here, okay, so if you visualize it, I am highlighting the inside content of this transmission line. So whatever highlighted region in a yellow color, that indicates that the strip line is sandwiched between the two ground planes. Okay, and this sandwich is made by means of making use of dielectric material. So here the dielectric material you will find inside this transmission line here. So actually this is a dielectric material. So construction wise, strip line is difficult to construct because a central conductor we need to place in between two ground planes, and we need to form a sandwich mechanism. Okay, and this is as good as the example. So the best example how the strip lines are described, uh, how we can how this strip line look like. Any particular physical example can you give? So I think if you view the cross section of this strip line, I will draw over here. I will choose a different color. Let us say this is a cross section of strip line. Okay. So here on the top, I have a ground conductor. Okay. So that I am highlighting with a blue color. Right. So on the top, please remember, I have a blue color representing a ground conductor on the top. At the bottom, I have again another ground conductor, right? So in this way. Now in between these two ground plane conductors, okay, so I have a strip line which I will denote with a red color, okay, in this way. So if you take the cross section of strip line, it will look somewhat like this. Okay. So actually this is a strip. This is actually a strip, or it is a conductor through which we are passing our microwave signal. Please remember. And this blue color, it indicates the ground plane. So this is the top ground, and this is the bottom ground, right? And in between the strip conductor and the two top and bottom ground plane, the area is filled with some dielectric material. So in this way. So if you visualize this yellow color indicates the dielectric material. Okay. So here I will highlight. So this yellow color is nothing but the dielectric material. It is a dielectric material. So that the central conductor can be sandwiched between the two ground planes by making use of dielectric material. Okay. So this is how the construction of strip line look like. Okay. So how we can describe this strip line, that is how we can give the physical interpretation, or what example we can give exactly so that it resembles the strip line. So by my point of view, if we enjoy the wafer chocolates, okay, or wafer biscuits rather, okay, so you might have enjoyed the wafer chocolates or wafer biscuit. The construction of wafer chocolate or wafer biscuit is in the similar way. Okay. So the sweet candy item that we are going to find at the center, and it is surrounded by certain wafer. Okay. So this resembles the construction similar to wafer chocolate or wafer biscuits, right? So this is a similar construction to the wafer chocolates. So coming next to the field configuration. Now here you clearly observe in the second diagram the field configuration, right? So how the field configuration look like? So here again the top and bottom heavy black color, it indicates the ground planes, okay, and the central conductor indicates the actual strip line. Okay. So here you can clearly observe the electric field and magnetic field. Electric and magnetic field are denoted separately. Electric field is shown with a continuous fields of line, and the magnetic field are shown with a closed loop. Okay. So here again I will draw how it look like. So inside, so the field configuration, so suppose this is your strip line, this is the top and bottom ground planes which are acting as a conductor, and here center I have the actual strip line, right? So how to draw the field configuration, how to show the electric field and magnetic field when this transmission line is used to carry the RF signal or the microwave signal at a very high frequency. Okay, so the electric field lines are getting oriented in this way. Okay, so from the strip line it will start and it will end on the ground on this way, in this way, right? So it will start from the strip line and they will end on the ground plane, on the upper one. And similarly from the below on this side, it will start from the strip line and it will end on the below ground plane in this way. Okay, so how we can show the arrow direction? The arrow directions are like this. It will always start from the strip line, please remember, and it will get located on the ground plane. So similarly over here, it will start from the strip line and it will end over the top ground lane. Okay, so these are the electric field. Now the electric field is confined between the strip line and the ground plane. So actually this is the ground plane, right? This is the top ground plane and this is the bottom ground plane. Right? And what these arrow directions are showing? These are showing electric field lines configuration or how the field look like, electric field. Remember that the electric field will always start from the strip line as a origin and it will end on the both top and below ground planes, so that we will get a continuous field lines representing the electric field. Okay, so if these are the field lines, the magnetic field is then indicated as, so I will choose a green color. Okay, so I will choose some different green color so that I can represent it. So the magnetic field then surrounds the strip line conductor and the magnetic field will form a closed loop path in this way. Or rather I will choose some different color. Say I will use say red color. Okay, so these red color lines are magnetic field. Now please remember, magnetic field has to be in the form of a closed loop. Okay, and how it is circulating? It follows the right hand rule, right? So it follows the right hand rule. That means the signal is propagating inside the plane of a paper. When the signal is propagating inside plane of the paper, the magnetic field lines will form a closed loop and the closed loop direction is shown as over here. So these red color dotted lines, they are indicating closed magnetic field. Please remember, closed loop, you can say closed loop magnetic field. Okay, so this is what about the electric and magnetic field configuration for the strip line. Okay, so below in this particular third diagram, you can clearly visualize how the strip line will look like. Okay, so normally the width of this entire enclosure, we consider it as a. Okay, and this strip line has total height of h. Okay, now it is a common practice to place this strip line exactly at the midway between the top and bottom ground planes. So it is actually h by 2 and h by 2. Okay, and actual width of that transmission line is w. Okay, so here the parameters or the dimension of strip line, how it is specified? The dimension of the strip line are specified by h, that is height of strip line, w. What is w? W is the width of strip line actually. Okay, so please always remember when we see the formulae to calculate the width and height and to calculate the characteristic impedance, we always need to deal with a ratio of width to height. So w by h is a very important term. Okay, so W by H is a very important term in order to calculate the characteristic impedance of strip line. So W by H is a ratio, okay, and this ratio is used to calculate characteristic impedance given by Z0. Okay, so the formula we will see right now. Okay, so here I explain you the construction, how the strip line look like, and then I have drawn the field configuration for electric field and magnetic field, and we saw how the strip line is described in terms of a dimension. Okay, so the dimensions are very simple. We need to find appropriate height and we need to find appropriate width. Okay, and also there is one more important term, that is a dielectric constant epsilon r. Okay, so this dielectric constant is field in between the strip line and the ground plane, dielectric constant material. So the dielectric material has certain dielectric constant. Okay, so actually this dielectric constant will not remain plain epsilon r. Because of the fringing effect, the dielectric constant is going to get reduced. So when it gets reduced, we will get effective dielectric constant, and we denote that effective dielectric constant as epsilon effective. So this is an effective value of dielectric constant. Right, so we will see what is the equation for effective dielectric constant also, and we already stated that the impedance of this strip line is found in terms of width to height ratio. Okay, so with all this specification, the strip line can be constructed and it can be fabricated. Now one more important thing over here is, if I ask you the question, so how many different types of conductors are involved in the construction of the strip line? So the answer is, actually there are three different conductors. So the top ground plane, the bottom ground plane, and the actual strip line which is positioned at the center. So actually this entire transmission line is a multi-conductor system. Okay, so out of which we have the top ground plane and the bottom ground plane are one and the same, because both are acting as a ground. So actually, even if we have three separate conductor, this entire transmission line is acting as a two-wire conductor system. So please remember, here it is a very important point. Strip line acts as two conductor system, please remember, or you can say two conductor wire. So it is as good as a two wire conductor system. Okay, so the top plane and the bottom plane both are the ground, so we can assume it as the same, and the central conductor is a separate, which is actually a microwave signal carrying conductor. Okay, so this construction will essentially make the strip line as a two conductor wire, and we know that whenever a transmission line has two conductor, it will support pure transverse electromagnetic wave of propagation. Okay, so what is pure TEM or transverse electromagnetic wave of propagation, that we will study in detail when we come across our second module in waveguide. So please remember, strip line acts as a two conductor wire, and hence it supports pure TEM. TEM stands for transverse electromagnetic propagation. Okay, so this is a specialty of strip line. Okay, and important property, being as a two conductor system, the strip line can support propagation of pure transverse electromagnetic wave through it. Okay, so let us go ahead and let us find out what are the equations with which this strip line can be designed. So as we already discussed, the characteristic impedance of the strip line is given in terms of width to height. It depends upon the ratio of width to height, right? So based on the same, we will write characteristic impedance equation for the strip line. Now I will change the color. Now Z0 is characteristic impedance. Right? Now we already defined what is the meaning of characteristic impedance, and that definition of characteristic impedance is applicable for all the transmission line, no matter what type of transmission line. Okay, so we already know the definition of characteristic impedance. So the equation of characteristic impedance to this strip line is given by 30 pi divided by epsilon r, where epsilon r is the dielectric constant of the dielectric material, right, into bracket 1 divided by 0.441, it is a standard equation, plus We by H. Okay, so this is a standard equation to calculate the characteristic impedance of strip line. Okay, so what is We over here? We is, please remember, it is not a W. So We stands for effective width. Effective width, which is not as same as the nominal width or physical width. Okay, so as on when this strip line is supposed to carry the signal at a very high frequency, the effective width of the strip line is going to change, because we saw over here in the field configuration that the electric field is originating from the strip line and they are getting resided over the ground plane. So what will happen is, even if the physical size of the strip line is fixed, it will appear to be a little bit bigger in size in this way, because this effect is taking place because of the fringing mechanism. Okay, so that's why instead of taking the actual width of the strip line, we need to take into account the increased width of the strip line because of the fringing effect of the electric field during its operation. So this effective width is given by two different ways. Okay, so that depends upon what is the value of width to height ratio. Okay, so this effective width and height, H is a height. So how it is given? The effective width to height is given by two different ways. So this is equal to W by H, simply physical width. So where W is a physical width. Please remember, physical width is different and effective width is different. Just right now I explain you what is the difference between effective width and physical width, physical height. Okay, so the effective width to the physical height of the strip line is equal to physical width divided by height of the strip line, as it is. This is true for provided when we have the width to height ratio greater than 0.35. So use this equation to calculate the effective width to height. So this particular, so I will choose a different color. In order to calculate this particular factor in the equation of characteristic impedance, we are going to use this formula. Okay, and We divided by H, the effective width to height, is equal to physical width to height when the width to height is found out to be greater than 0.35. Okay, so there is another formula in other case when the value of width to height is less than 0.35. Okay, so effective width to height is given with some other formula, and the other formula is width to height minus, okay, into bracket 0.35 minus W by H, whole bracket complete, bracket raised to square. And this formula we are going to make use when our physical width to height ratio is less than 0.35. Okay, so please remember, there are two different options to calculate this particular factor, that is effective width to height of the strip line, in order to calculate the characteristic impedance. Okay, so this depends upon, first of all, you need to check the width to height ratio. If width to height ratio is greater than 0.35, you need to use the first formula directly as it is, width to height. On the other hand, if you find the ratio of width to height is less than 0.35, then we are going to make use of a second modified equation. Okay, so then you calculate width to height and place the value of width to height over here in the main equation. Already we know the value of epsilon r because we know with what dielectric we have constructed the strip line. Put these values and find out the characteristic impedance. Okay, so this is how to find the value of a characteristic impedance when we know the physical dimension of the strip line. Okay, so in a reverse way, if we know the characteristic impedance of the strip line, then we want to calculate the dimension of the strip line. Okay, so in a reverse way also we can do. So what is then? Characteristic impedance of a strip line will be given and we are supposed to calculate the physical dimension of the strip line. Okay, so how that can be done? So reverse way, the physical dimension of the strip line can be given provided if you know the dielectric constant and the characteristic impedance. Okay, so in that particular case, the width to height is given by, it is equal to k. Okay, so what is that k? We will see later on. For epsilon r, product of square root of epsilon r and characteristic impedance when this product is less than 120. Okay, so take the square root of dielectric constant and multiply it with the given value of characteristic impedance. If this product is found out to be less than 120, then we will take width to height ratio is equal to k. Okay, so what is k then? So where capital K is equal to 30 pi divided by square root epsilon r z0 minus 0.441. Okay, so please remember, if we know the dielectric constant and the characteristic impedance, we can find out the dimension of the microstrip line, the strip line. Okay, so that is W by H. So this is one way or one option. On the other hand, the width to height ratio can also be given in a second way. Okay, so this is given as 0.85, right, minus square root of 0.6 minus capital K, where K is the same thing. Now this equation we will use to calculate the dimension of the strip line when the product of square root of dielectric constant with the given characteristic impedance is greater than 120, right? So here we saw the empirical equation to calculate the characteristic impedance. Say if the physical dimensions are specified, with those specification we can calculate the characteristic impedance. On the other way, we can synthesize also once we know the characteristic impedance and the dielectric constant with which the strip line is constructed. Okay, so we can either way we can analyze the circuit or we can synthesize the circuit. Okay, so once you know the dimension of the strip line, you can calculate the characteristic impedance, or on the other hand, if you know the characteristic impedance and dielectric constant of the construction, then you can synthesize the dimension of the strip line. Okay, so this is all about the strip line. So we started explaining the construction and the application of the strip line. So actually hardly you have observed the application where the strip lines are going to be utilized to carry the microwave signal. Okay, but this strip line is as good as that of the microstrip transmission line. Okay, and here the advantage that you are going to get is the signal propagation that happens with the strip line is pure transverse electromagnetic wave. Okay, as it is equivalent to the propagation of the signal that will take place in a coaxial cable. So the same way, the transverse electromagnetic wave which propagates through the coaxial cable, the same kind of a propagation will take place with this type of a transmission line. Okay, but actually this is a planar transmission line and these transmission lines are preferred for constructing the transmission line on printed circuit boards. Okay, so we go ahead and let us see the second and very important and popular type of a transmission line, that is a microstrip line. So let us start with a discussion of microstrip transmission line, or simply in short they are called as a microstrip lines. Microstrip transmission line. Okay, So first of all, I will embed the image of the microchip transmission line. This image is taken from a standard book. So I will insert the image of the transmission line, and then I will explain you the construction, working mechanism, field configuration, and design equations. So the microchip transmission line look like this. Okay, so here I will take the image. Okay, I will make it bigger so that it can be visualized clearly. Okay, so I hope that this image you can observe, right? So on my left hand side it is a construction. So here this is a construction, and on my right hand side it is a field configuration or field distribution, you can say field distribution. So let us first discuss about how the microchip transmission line is constructed. You can clearly distinguish between the construction of microchip transmission line and strip line. Okay, so you can visualize that the construction of microchip transmission line is very simple when it is compared to construction of strip line. Okay, so what it has, I will denote over here. I will choose a red color. So here at the bottom, please remember, we have a conductor, and this is mainly acting as a ground plane. Okay, so at the bottom over here I will highlight it. So we will find a metallic part, okay, or a metallic conductor. Now this plane conductor is as good as acting as a ground plane, and on the top we have the actual transmission line. Okay, so this is the actual transmission line. Now please remember, this transmission line is printed on some special substrate. So this is a substrate, or this is, you can say, a dielectric material over which it is etched by using photolithographic technique. Okay, so actually this is our special concern. This is a microchip transmission line, right? And this microchip transmission line is constructed by means of printing technology. So that's why it is very popularly known as printed circuit board or printed transmission line. Okay, so it is fabricated on certain suitable dielectric material. So this is another conductor, and there is another conductor which is backed at the bottom, which is acting as a ground plane. So here the two wire conductor system, again it is going to form. So there is a first conductor on the top of the substrate, and the bottom of the substrate is backed by another conductor with the substrate material. So again it is essentially a two-wire transmission system. But please remember that transmission over this microchip transmission line is not going to be a pure transverse electromagnetic propagation. Now the reason we will see later on when we see the waveguide chapter. Okay, so here whenever a signal is passed over this transmission line, this transmission line will get excited and the electric field distribution will start in this way. Okay, so whatever I am drawing over here, so the red lines, the red curves are showing the electric field distribution of the transmission line. Okay, so the same is shown over here. Now again I will draw it, the cross section, how it look like. I will draw the cross section so that it is easy for you to understand. So let us say this is your substrate material or the base material. Okay, so the base material, at the bottom we have a conductor. So this is a conductor. So the conductor material I will highlight with the red color so that it is treated as a conducting metal. So this is a metal, right? Whichever part I am showing with the red color. Okay, so this is a ground plane, or it is a ground conductor, please remember. Okay, and this is a substrate. Now the substrate I will highlight with a yellow color. So this is your substrate, right? So here this is your, I will choose a different color rather. So this is your substrate. Substrate is nothing but a dielectric material, please remember. Some suitable dielectric material is used in order to fabricate the microchip transmission line. Okay, and over this substrate, by making use of photolithography technique, a printed transmission line is constructed. And how it look like the construction, if we take the cross section, the cross section will look like this. Now here what we have is, we have this simple transmission line. This is actually microstrip transmission line, another conductor, or simply microstrip line. Okay, so when this microstrip transmission line carries a signal at a high frequency, how the electric field and magnetic field distribution look like. So though this is depicted in this figure over here, I'm going to draw it over here again. Okay, so when it going to carry a high frequency signal through it as a transmission, electric field will get oriented in this way. Okay, so if you observe carefully what is happening, the electric field lines are starting from the strip line, the microstrip line, okay, and they are going towards the ground plane, okay, via the substrate material. Now please remember, some of the signal propagation is taking place in the air also. So here the surrounding over here, please remember this surrounding is the air which is on the top. Okay, so actually this is a air material. Now please remember, air is also one type of a dielectric material. So the electric field lines from the transmission line, they are getting extended into the air, and the air is itself acting as a separate dielectric material. And these electric lines of field, they enter through the substrate, and then finally they will terminate on the ground plane, okay, or on the ground conductor. So these are the electric field lines. Okay, so what the red color line with the arrow indicates, the electric field lines, right? And how the magnetic field look like, again please remember, whenever there is a electric field, there has to be a magnetic field, and the magnetic field will always form a closed loop configuration. So I will choose a different color to show the magnetic fields of line, and I will choose this blue color. This dotted lines will always form a closed loop configuration, please remember. Okay, so the same is shown over here, and these magnetic lines will always follow again the right hand rule. Okay, so what the blue color lines are indicating, these blue color lines are indicating magnetic field lines. Right? Now here a question will be there in your mind, though it is a two-wire conductor system, why it will not support the pure transverse electromagnetic wave of propagation? The reason, the cause or the reason for this is that the top surface area of this strip line is not covered by a separate ground plane. Sorry. So the top surface area of this transmission line is not separately covered by the ground plane. So what is happening over here is, whenever the transmission line is going to carry the signal will radiate the electromagnetic field, and the electric lines of field here, there it is clearly visible that they will start from the transmission line and they will end by going through the substrate air towards the ground plane. So here the effective dielectric constant of the substrate material is going to change, and because of this change in the effective dielectric constant of the material, the transmission will not further remain pure transverse electromagnetic propagation. It will either become TE mode or TM mode. So please remember that though the transmission line, that is a microstrip transmission line, is a two conductor system, not essentially it is going to follow the pure type of transverse electromagnetic wave propagation. So the details why it is not so with a vector diagram we will see when we come across second module. Okay, so that is a waveguide. So for time being, you just remember that the microstrip transmission line is a printed circuit transmission line which is popularly used for carrying the microwave signals at a very high frequency in the circuit. Okay, so let us go ahead and write the empirical equation to calculate the dimension and the characteristic impedance. Okay, so in order to write these equation, Again, please remember the width to height ratio of the transmission line is going to play a very important role. So the empirical equation, that is the width to height ratio, is going to be an important parameter to decide the characteristic impedance of the transmission line. Okay, so here we will write the empirical equation to calculate first the characteristic impedance of the transmission line. Okay, so here I will write the equation. Z0 is equal to, the formula is 60 divided by epsilon effective, okay, natural logarithm of 8h divided by W plus W divided by 4h, bracket complete. Okay, so this particular equation of calculating the characteristic impedance of a transmission line we are going to use wherever there is a certain typical ratio of width to height. So this particular equation we will use when, see I will, so this equation we will use when, this is used when width to height ratio is less than or equal to 1. Okay, so this equation of characteristic impedance we will use when the given width to height ratio is less than or equal to 1. Okay, so on the other hand, the characteristic impedance, we have the separate equation 120 pi divided by, now at the denominator we have a large term, effective dielectric constant square root, okay, into bracket width to height, right, plus 1.393 plus 0.667 natural logarithm of, again, width to height plus 1.444 bracket complete. So all these terms are there in the denominator and then bracket complete. And this equation to calculate the characteristic impedance we are going to use when the width to height ratio of that microstrip transmission line is greater than or equal to 1. So there are two separate equations to calculate the characteristic impedance of the microstrip transmission line when we know the dimension of the microstrip transmission line in terms of width and height. Okay, so we will use the first equation when the width to height is less than or equal to 1. Okay, and especially we will use the second equation when the width to height is specifically when it is greater than 1. Okay, so in this particular equation the effective dielectric constant is very important and it is going to play a very important role. Okay, so effective dielectric constant is again going to depend upon what is the ratio of width to height. So similar to characteristic impedance, the effective dielectric constant is going to have two separate equations. So how these are given? The effective dielectric constant, how this is given? Epsilon r plus 1 divided by 2 plus epsilon r minus 1 divided by 2, right, into bracket 1 plus 12 h by w, right. Now you need to take reciprocal of this 1 by 2 plus 0.04 into bracket 1 minus w by h whole square, bracket complete, right. This equation we are going to use when the width to height ratio is less than or equal to 1. Okay, so epsilon effective stands for effective dielectric constant. Now please remember, when we saw a typical example of designing a microstrip transmission line, the effective dielectric constant will always get lesser value than the original value of a dielectric constant, right. So the another equation to calculate the effective dielectric constant when the width to height ratio is greater than 1, it is given by epsilon r plus 1 by 2 plus epsilon r minus 1 by 2 into bracket 1 plus 12h divided by W raised to minus half or raised to minus 0.5. And this equation we are going to use when the width to height ratio is greater than 1. Okay. So here we saw how to calculate the characteristic impedance once we know the dimension of the microstrip transmission line, and in that we saw the equations separately for calculating the effective dielectric constant, which is again dependent upon important factor, that is what is the value of width to height. Okay, so these are the empirical equation which are used to calculate the characteristic impedance of the transmission line. Okay, so conversely you can calculate the width to height ratio also once you know the characteristic impedance. Okay, so these are the equation to design the characteristic impedance of the microstrip transmission line. Now we move ahead and go towards our last special type of a transmission line, planar transmission line, that is coupled microstrip lines. So the third example, coupled microstrip lines. It is only a special case of a microstrip transmission line in which we are going to make use of a multiple microstrip transmission line which are printed and or deposited on the same substrate. Okay, and it supports a multi-conductor system, please remember, and because of which it gives the additional feature or the benefit to the microstrip transmission line to act as a filter, and also it can be used to filter out the unwanted component, and also it can, this particular microstrip transmission line, that is in coupled microstrip line, can also be used as a coupler. Okay, so the coupler is a device though that we are going to see in detail in our second model. Okay, so let us go ahead with this coupled microstrip lines. Okay, so how the coupled microstrip line, so I will include first the diagram. So first of all, I will show you the construction, how the coupled microstrip line look like. Okay, so this is the construction of coupled microstrip line, and I will also insert a diagram which visualizes the field configuration of coupled microstrip line. So here I will insert that diagram. Okay, so the first diagram clearly shows the construction of coupled microstrip line. So what we observe over here, the only difference is we are using multiple microstrip lines. So this is first microstrip line, first line 1 I will write over here, and this is the second line. Okay, so if you make use of two microstrip transmission lines which are separated with a certain distance s, okay, and having equal widths w over the same substrate, so this is the same substrate, please remember. Okay, so at the bottom of this substrate again you will find a ground plane. Okay, and the height of this substrate is given by h. So the width is same for these two transmission lines. That means the two transmission lines, microstrip transmission lines, are exactly identical with each other, w by h. Okay, so this is what the you can say, or you can extend the microstrip transmission line. And if you make use of a multiple microstrip transmission line printed over the common substrate, this construction is called as a coupled microstrip transmission line. Okay, so there is nothing separate or different in the construction wise. These two transmission lines are purposely kept together. When they are kept together by spacing a certain gap between them, it will create some mutual effect. Okay, so when these two transmission lines are excited with a signal, what will happen? The electric field lines of one transmission line will interfere with the field transmission line of the second transmission line, and it is going to create certain sort of mutual interference. Okay, and this mutual interference we are going to use for different operations like filtering, then coupling, and so on. So this is what the specialty of coupled microstrip transmission line. Okay, so it is similar to transmission line, microstrip transmission line, only the thing is multiple microstrip transmission lines are printed by spacing a particular gap. Okay, so the construction wise is same. Now here if you particularly observe the field configuration on my right hand side diagram, here you observe there could be two possible situation of field distribution. Now this particular transmission line is not a single conductor transmission line. It involves multiple transmission lines, and those are microstrip lines, right? So there are two different ways to describe the field distribution lines for the coupled microstrip transmission line. Okay. So first of all, as it contains multi-conductor system, the analysis of coupled microstrip line can be best described if we make use of even and odd line solutions. Okay. So even odd mode solutions we are going to see, and even mode solutions are going to describe the field configuration. So here if you observe particularly in the first type over here we call it as a even mode field configuration. So let us define what is even mode of the coupled microstrip line. So even mode of the coupled microstrip line is the mode in which the electric field lines and the magnetic field lines from the multiple microstrip transmission line are going to add up constructively. Okay. So please remember, even field mode configuration is the mode configuration in which the electric field, right, and magnetic field are going to add constructively. So when they add constructively, they will add with each other with a phase, okay, and it will generate a strong field. Okay. So the mutual field which will get generated in this even mode of operation of the coupled microstrip line is very large. Okay. And the field configurations are shown in front of you. The electric field line direction for the first transmission line is same as that of the electric field direction for the second transmission line, and the magnetic field of one transmission line will get add up with the magnetic field of the second transmission line, and the resultant is constructive interference. Okay. So opposing to this, in the odd mode field configuration, opposite thing will happen. Now what happens over here is the electric field lines of first transmission line are going from the transmission line to the ground plane, but for the second transmission line, the electric field lines are coming from the ground plane to that particular transmission line. So here the phase of the electric field lines are opposite, and this will generate a difference in the magnetic field. Okay. So please remember, here the electric field and magnetic field they add destructively. Okay. Or you can say a destructive interference will happen between the electric field lines and magnetic field lines generated by these two separate microstrip transmission line. So these are the field configuration and the meaning of even mode configuration and odd mode configuration. Okay. And separately, as the coupled microstrip lines are going to exhibit these two separate modes, the impedances are also calculated separately. Okay. So please remember, the impedance of the coupled microstrip line and the impedance for coupled microstrip line in the case of even mode and odd mode, they are calculated separately, because these two modes we need to analyze separately, and accordingly the characteristic impedance will be specified. Okay. So here we will restrict our explanation of coupled microstrip line to up to its construction and field configuration line. So there is no absolute need to derive the equation for characteristic impedance of this coupled microstrip transmission line for even mode and odd mode. You need to just remember what are the different modes, what do you mean by even mode and odd mode, and what are the field configuration in these two particular modes of coupled microstrip transmission line. So I hope that in brief we have covered all the three special type of planar transmission line. We started with a strip line, construction, then field configuration and the empirical equation and the properties. Then we went ahead with the design of microstrip transmission line, working, construction, field configuration and empirical equation, and thereafterwards lastly we came towards the final one, that is a coupled microstrip line, and we saw how it is constructed and what is the exact difference between the microstrip transmission line and coupled transmission line, coupled microstrip transmission line. And we understood what do you mean by even mode and odd modes of coupled microstrip transmission line. Okay, and we also saw finally the field distribution typically for these modes of coupled microstrip. So here I hope that you understood these special type of a transmission line. So in the examination, if the question is asked, they might ask a design equation, design based example based on especially microstrip transmission line. Okay, so for the rest of the transmission line, they mostly they will ask theoretical based question. Okay, so if they ask a question designing of the transmission line, mostly they will focus their attention to microstrip transmission line. Okay, so rest of the transmission line, if the question is asked, that will be mostly theoretical. So I hope you understood these planar transmission lines in this first module. So I will stop here this particular lecture, and later on we will see the details of impedance matching circuit. So thank you very much.